I took my little brother Henry to go and fly a kite. As I was letting out that string, Henry held on tight. Then suddenly it happened, I won't forget that day. A great big burst of wind took Henry away. Hang on, Henry, hang on tight. My little brother Henry went flying on a kite. I told him not to worry, I'd somehow get him down. But Henry didn't mind it flying up above the town. The view up here's fantastic, Henry called to me. All the people look like insects and the trees like broccoli. Let's sing it. Hang on, Henry, hang on tight. My little brother Henry went flying on a kite. Well, people on the ground below could not believe their eyes to see a boy on a kite up there in the friendly skies. It's a bird, said Mrs. Birdbrain. No, it's a plane, said Mr. Prop. I said, it's my brother Henry. Do you think he's gonna drop? Now, let's make that whistling sound effect if poor Henry were to let go and come plummeting to the earth. Oopsie. Hang on, Henry, hang on tight. My little brother Henry went flying on a kite. Well, the wind took Henry higher, so he peeked inside a plane where they were eating funny pretzels and drinking pink champagne. Yuck! Then Henry collided with a weather satellite. Uh-oh. No one in the town knew if the sun would shine that night. Let's sing it now. Hang on, Henry, hang on tight. My little brother Henry went flying on a kite. Well, by now you might be wondering if Henry was okay. Did he ever make it home again upon that fateful day? Now, actually, Ray, Henry came down safely. He did. Thank goodness. But his landing was very hard. He rode home on a shooting star that fell in our backyard. If you ever decide to go flying on a shooting star, Ray, please be careful. It would be super fast, super hot, and kind of bumpy at the end. Let's sing it. Hang on, Henry, hang on tight. My little brother Henry went flying on a kite. When it all was over and my brother had returned, our mom asked me and Henry what we both had learned. I said to be more careful, Mom, until the age of 10. And Henry said, I think I learned I'd like to fly a kite again. He thought that it was fun. He wanted to do it again. Oh, brother, hang on, Henry, hang on tight. My little brother Henry went flying on a kite. Hang on, Henry, hang on tight. My little brother Henry went flying on a kite. Hang on, Henry.
That was the sweet vocals of Steve Blunt.
Sweet vocals. I like that description. I've never heard that one before.
Oh, we'll dish them all out here. Folks, you are listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, we'll catch you off guard once in a while. We are coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the KXL Studios in Concord. My God, it's cavernous in here. Break out those Sony Walkmans or your transistor radios if you haven't bought your new Sony Walkman yet. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. Those for the folks in Concord. 101.9 for the beautiful souls in Manchester. And NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. A lot happening out there. A lot happening. So a little while ago, I had Merrick Bennett on. Merrick was playing an instrument as well and talking about his illustrations, and he said, Ray, I have a guest which you should get on. It's taken months to get this guy in here. Steve Blunt. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Ray. It's good to be here. I'm glad that Merrick passed along my name, and I can tell we're going to have a nice time talking this morning.
I'm thinking so. I'm thinking so. Steve, I have your kind of a blurb here thing, if you don't mind me reading it.
Yeah, we like blurbs.
It says, Steve Blunt is a New Hampshire singer/storyteller who's fun, upbeat performances delight audiences at schools, libraries, concert venues throughout New England. He began writing kid-friendly songs in the 90s while raising a young daughter and working as a middle school English teacher. Since moving to New Hampshire in 98, Steve has worked extensively with the New Hampshire State Library's Kids, Books, and Arts program. He's also a presenter at the New Hampshire Humanities Council. While he performs primarily as a solo act, he also enjoys teaming up with author-illustrator Marty Kelly and his music band, Steve Blunt and Friends. And we'll get into that in a minute. Steve, tell me about how this all came about.
Yeah, I'd be happy to tell you how I got started in children's music. As you mentioned, I was a middle school teacher, and it seemed like my classes were normally more fun when I would bring in my guitar and sing with the kids, as opposed to giving them another vocabulary quiz. And so I just
they're
started.
happy about that.
Oh, yeah. They were sort of a captive audience, right? I mean, they had to be there. But that was a good time. And then when we moved from Ohio to New Hampshire, it was during the school year, so I was kind of between jobs. And I brought my daughter to the Nashua Public Library, where the children's librarian at the time, Kathy Bolton, this would have been 1999, said, well, you should come by the library sometime and bring your guitar and sing for the kids. So I did that, and she encouraged me to apply to a program through the New Hampshire State Library. So that's how I got started real early on in my time in New Hampshire, kind of as a summer gig, but within a few years I knew that's what I wanted to do all year round.
Dude, you haven't let down either. I was looking at your calendar on here just last year. You were busy. You're a busy guy.
Yeah,
Toledo.
The summers are the busy times, and then I don't really even bother keeping my calendar up during the rest of the year.
That's crazy.
True. Yeah.
Do you prefer certain venues over others? So you do the libraries. That can be kind of, I don't know. How do I don't say mundane.
Careful. The libraries are it. I have more fun at libraries than anywhere else because those folks decided to be there, and they are generally very well trained by the children's librarian to come to the library, have a good time, sing along, clap their hands, dance around. Yeah. They kind of know the drill. So libraries would actually be my top gig location, although there are some other great ones for sure.
Before we go too far, why don't you give us a URL and how people can reach you otherwise?
Yeah, sure. So if you want to find out anything about my music and me, the website is just my name. I'm clever like that. SteveBlunt.com.
Keeping it simple. Simple. That's the idea here. Yeah. So did you ever have any idea it would take off like this? I mean, dude, I'm looking at your calendar. I don't know when you rest. Your summer times are they're packed.
Yeah, that's true. It's surprising how much opportunity there is for somebody who likes to sing with kids and families. And it's all kind of, local, small pond stuff. But it can keep you busy. And so I really enjoy that. What was your question to start with?
Did you ever know it would be this big?
Yeah.
I mean, you one day you're starting out just kind of hobnobbing in a library playing. Next thing you know, you're booked all summer long.
Yeah, right. It's interesting how that kind of came about. But the libraries, and I really have to say the former director of youth services at the New Hampshire State Library, Ann Hoey, just had this amazing program going called Kids, Books, and the Arts for many years, where the state library would write or the local library could write a grant application to the state library. And most of that money, by the way, was private fundraising. It wasn't tax money. And so that small little libraries in, towns like Harrisville or Litchfield or Bradford, they could write a grant application to the state library and bring an artist in. So that really got me busy in the summer. And then what would happen is somebody would bring their summer daycare camp to the library, and they'd say, "Oh, Steve, would you like to come back to our school during the school year, because lots of times early childhood centers will host special programs, and then they'll also just have a need for a music program that comes in once a week or once a month or whatever. So
interesting. Hang on a second. You hear
Hang
that
on.
beautiful music.
All right.
Folks, you are indeed listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah, kick back in those water beds, will you? Light the incense. Get that lava lamp going. We are coming to you from the YMCA-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. I can smell the pool chlorine all the way over here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sony Walkmans. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. We here at WKXL are happy to be celebrating 80 years of community radio. 80. Yep, I'm almost that much myself. Yeah. Steve Blunt's in the house. I got a lot of questions for him. We'll be right back.
Was a girl who liked to eat macaroni and cheese, so sweet. Breakfast, lunch, and supper treat. Macaroni and cheese, yummy. Macaroni and cheese all day. Macaroni and cheese all night. Macaroni and cheese all right. Macaroni and cheese. She didn't like rigatoni, no spam and no spumoni. I'm telling you, no bologna, just macaroni and cheese. Yummy macaroni and cheese all day. Macaroni and cheese all night. Macaroni and cheese all right. Macaroni and cheese. Whoop, she spilled it on her clothes. She smeared it on her nose. How'd it get between her toes? Ew. Macaroni and cheese. Her parents had a wish. She'd try another dish. She would only tell them, "Yes, I want macaroni and cheese." Yummy macaroni and cheese all day. Macaroni and cheese all night. Macaroni and cheese all right. Macaroni and cheese. This little girl, she grew, but she never changed her point of view. She's going strong at 102 on macaroni and cheese. Yummy macaroni and cheese all day. Macaroni and cheese all night. Macaroni and cheese all right. Macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese all day. Macaroni and cheese all night. Macaroni and cheese all right. Macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese all day. Macaroni and cheese all night.
Kind of guessing folks might get the title of that one.
Go ahead. It's funny you'd say that, because early on, a children's artist I admire a lot gave me some advice, which was to be sure to repeat the chorus again and again and again to give the kids kind of something to kind of grasp onto and latch on to.
Kids, us old folks need that kind of repetition.
I'm kind of hungry right now, aren't you? Listening to
I
all
need
that.
a bib.
Yeah.
You are listening to NH Unscripted. We are not Romper Room, but we are certainly inviting that clientele today.
I see Andrew. I see Ray. I see Steve. Happy birthday.
Steve, what do you consider your niche here? What do you call yourself?
I think of myself as a children's musician.
You do,
first and foremost, because the songs that I've really kind of taken around are children's music songs, and so that is songs that are about things that kids like macaroni and cheese or flying a kite or imagining your little brother taking off and never coming back.
Every kid's dream. Yeah.
But there are other songs that are just more kind of kid-friendly, you know, general interest songs that I also like to sing, like "You Are My Sunshine" is, you know, one of those type of songs, or "This Land Is Your Land." You know, a lot of cover tunes. You know, the Garden Song, "Inch by Inch," "Row by Row," and all that stuff. So a lot of times. I'll kind of get a read on the audience, whether it's more, you know, of a kids focused place, or whether it's more just kind of just do some songs that everybody can enjoy.
How many songs of your own do you have you written by now?
It's a good question. I don't know. I would guess it's probably, you know, around 100 or something like that.
You've got what, 5 CDs here? Is that
at least? Yeah, number of CDs. Yeah, number of CDs. And most of those are original tunes, but probably is, you know, even more songs that I've never recorded.
Really? Have you patented all these? You copyrighted them?
My understanding is that I have. Yeah. You know, as soon as you kind of get it manufactured and get it out there onto the interweb, then it's kind of considered copywritten. I did early on. I was a little more scrupulous or detail oriented about that, but stuff is just all out there. Everything's everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Are certain ones more popular than others?
I would say that the first one I sang, "Hang On Henry," is probably kind of my signature song, so to speak, if you could say that I have one, because you know what would happen. It's the title track for that CD, and then kids would hear it and, you know, kind of fix on that one, and then, you know, the library would have you come back next year and they'd say, "Oh, be sure to play Hang On Henry." You know, the kids really like that. And honestly, it still happens occasionally. Like if I go into a kindergarten classroom where the teacher has you know, been playing that song before I get there, I've got, you know, 50 little 5-year-olds just belting it out, and that's really enjoyable.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Is there an age group that you tend to like to migrate towards the most? They're the most fun, you know, they pay the most attention or whatever. I mean, some, when you're dealing with kids, we've seen the videos of the outfielder catching butterflies, not paying attention to the game.
I love that video. Yeah. I was like that kid. That's why I never played baseball. But yeah, you know, I would say that over time, and I've been doing this now for over 25 years, family audiences have started to skew younger, which has been interesting for me because my natural inclinations are a little wordier, a little longer. I don't know if you can pick that up from the songs that I've done so far.
Well, they sound great to me.
But honestly, for like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, that's kind of a lot to sit through. Now macaroni and cheese, they can dance around. But I felt like my niche early on was kind of high verbal songs that elementary age kids might laugh to, or, you know, laugh at and enjoy. Yeah. But, you know, the longer that I've been going to libraries and schools, and I find that I am asked to do more for very young children, like, you know, babies, toddlers, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Yes, yeah, because that's what there's more of a demand for. And in fact, this was interesting to me. Just last week, I was down at one of the locations for the Cambridge Public Library and just had so much fun. But I saw on their website that they had indicated this was going to be an afternoon program for school-age kids, ages 5 to 11. And I think, great, this is going to be, you know, that's my thing. I love that. I don't get to do that all that often. And we had so much fun. However, everybody who showed up had a baby in a stroller. So instead of, you know, the songs like I just played for you, which maybe school-age kids would like, it was all about Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Old MacDonald Had a Farm, The Wheels on the Bus, and the ones that the little ones know.
They never go out of style.
It's true. You know, early on, I've considered it a real kind of compliment when a teacher said, that kangaroo song you did with all the kids jumping up and down. Thank you so much for that. It really got my 4-year-old going. He really enjoyed it because, you know, we're pretty tired of the itsy bitsy spider at my house, and I get that. But at the same time, what I find the longer I do this is those standard familiar little nursery rhyme type songs really have a very important function for these kids, because kids at that age can grasp them, and they can do them, and you're really building a lot of cognitive and pre-literacy kinds of skills by getting young children on board with those kinds of songs. So honestly, those songs that we've played so far are wordy songs, but probably the most recent successful song that I sing has only these following words: hippity hop, hippity hop, stop. And we'll do that for 5 minutes.
It's a classic.
Those are the only words, though. So because that is something that, a little 2-year-old thinks is great. We're going to do a freeze dance, So, yeah.
Have you ventured at all into CD for lullabies then? It would seem like with your, I don't want to call it your demographic, but as you say, they're getting younger and younger. Have you thought about creating a lullaby kind of CD?
I've tried to think about that sort of thing, and honestly, it's not my strength. To the extent that I have any kind of musical chops, it's more just kind of like belting out a rockin' vocal and being kind of goofy. We loved lullaby CDs when my kid was little, but it's not anything that I've ever really done.
All right. Hang on. We are one toke over the line, sweet Jesus. We're coming to you from the Hollywood Square-like things of the WKXL studios in Concord. I love sitting in the Center Square. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios. 101.9 FM for those beautiful souls in Manchester. Steve Blunt is in the house. We're talking children's music-ish. Not that sure that's even a genre. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. Got your bell-bottom pants on yet? Get your platform shoes on? Yeah, I do. We're coming to you from the dating game-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. So happy to be out of bed. Always happy to be out of bed. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL where this show resides in the archive. Kind of like the Ladies of the Lost Ark. If you go there at the end, they got those boxes in that warehouse. You'll find it somewhere at the interwebs. NHTalkRadio.com. Steve Blunt is in the house. Steve, let's talk about some of the upcoming things you've got. You said something about the New Hampshire Humanities?
Yeah, that's right. I wear a few different musical hats. Okay. So tomorrow morning I'll be singing at an early childhood center in Dracut. Everybody will be wearing green. It'll be St. Patrick's Day, and I'll do some Irish songs and have a great time with those kids. Wednesday's one of my regular preschool visits. But then Thursday, I'm going to be visiting the town of Brookline, New Hampshire for a New Hampshire Humanities Council presentation I give through their Humanities to Go program. And, I get to put on a 19th century costume and give a presentation called Liberty is Our Motto, Songs and Stories of the Hutchinson Family Singers. So the Hutchinson Family Singers came from Milford, New Hampshire, and really hit it big in the 1840s singing anti-slavery songs. Wow. So a pretty interesting topic.
So how did you get involved in that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I was visiting the old location for the New Hampshire Historical Society Museum, which was in Concord, probably 2005 or thereabouts. And on a larger display for the Civil War, I just saw this little footnote and this little picture about the Hutchinson Family Singers of Milford, New Hampshire. And it turns out that they were considered to be as big as like Elvis Presley or the Beatles at the time.
Really?
Yeah, and they stayed current for decades. I mean, they in 1843 they sang in the White House for President Tyler. In 1862 or 3, part of them went to the White House and sang for Abe Lincoln. In 1892, by this time, they were kind of old. A couple of them sang right on State House Square for the unveiling of the statue that's still there of Senator John Hale, because he's the one who introduced abolition into the U.S. Senate. And so in 1892, this is 50 years later, everybody's kind of remembering back to the anniversary of that. And so that's when that statue was erected, and then the Hutchinsons came out and sang for that.
So the idea to dress up, is that your idea? Is it part of a? Is everybody who shows up that day for that event going to be dressed up too?
That's never happened, although that would be really great. I hope you'll come and do that.
You don't stand out?
No. So, great question. So the deal was, after I found out about this, what I found to be a very interesting topic, I started to tell about it just a little bit in my family shows at libraries. There was a theme that New Hampshire libraries used in 2007 called Reading Road Trip USA. So the Hutchinson family singers, in a sense, were on one big road trip in the 1900s, and I would share just a couple of their songs. And when I visited the library in Claremont, New Hampshire, there was a librarian there by the name of Sharon Wood. Now, Sharon is a presenter in her own right, but many people recognize her husband, Steve Wood, who gives a presentation in character as Abe Lincoln. In fact, he looks a little bit like Abe Lincoln. So Steve and Sharon were already kind of a part of the New Hampshire Humanities Council programming. And she said, what you need to do is put on a costume and tell that story in first person. So I put that together. I auditioned it for the Humanities Council. They accepted it probably in 2007 or thereabouts. And this Thursday I'll be doing it probably for the last
all this time?
Right, yeah. But it's honestly just dribs and drabs. At this point, I only have a chance probably to do that program, I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Yeah. Would be about it, yeah.
Andrew, do we have time for him to play?
We absolutely do. We got a little more than 5 minutes.
You want to do one, Steve?
I'd love to, yeah. This is the Hutchinson Family Singers' signature song. It's called The Old Granite State. We have come from the mountains, we have come from the mountains, we have come from the mountains of the old granite state. Good old-fashioned singers, good old-fashioned singers, good old-fashioned singers from the old granite state. We are all real Yankees, we are all real Yankees, we are all real Yankees from the old granite state. Liberty is our motto, liberty is our motto, equal liberty is our motto in the old granite state. Yes, we're friends of emancipation, and we'll sing the proclamation till it echoes through our nation from the old granite state. We despise oppression, we despise oppression, we despise oppression, and we cannot be enslaved. Liberty is our motto, liberty is our motto, equal liberty is our motto in the old granite state. How we love the rocks and mountains, how we love the rocks and mountains, how we love the rocks and mountains of the old granite state. Pointing up to heaven, pointing up to heaven, pointing up to heaven from the old granite state. Huzzah, 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 huzzah for the old granite state.
Say huzzah. Huzzah.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
How old is that song?
That came out in 1843. Wow. It was written by the quartet's brother, Jesse Hutchinson. And it's hard for me to fathom, but I have read that song was so popular in the mid-19th century that some people felt it should be made into the national anthem.
What?
I'd like to say it's hard for me to imagine that being the case since it's all about New Hampshire. But, there were fewer states back then. So, maybe we were leading the way.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So was that song prior to the assassination of Abe or
Oh yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah. So they were there really from close to the very beginning of the abolitionist movement in the U.S. You can say it goes back to really the late 1700s, early 1800s, but they really came on as it was beginning to grow. And early on, they made lifelong friends with Frederick Douglass, someone that they met down in the greater Boston area, and they traveled with him. They were very close with him for decades. In fact, when my character John Hutchinson, who had a pretty solid ego, put out a 2-volume autobiography in the mid 1890s, the preface was written by Frederick Douglass. Whoa. And he complimented their impact, or I guess he emphasized their impact on the abolitionist movement. He said it was just as important as all of the speakers and as Uncle Tom's Cabin, and it really made a contribution.
That's crazy,
right?
Am I correct? I can't remember. I seem to think, was there a Hutchinson involved in the signing of the Declaration? Do you know if that's...
That's a good question. I'll have to look that up for you. I can't say I know.
Seems to be. I don't know why. I'm not sure.
I can tell you this: their grandfather fought in the Revolutionary War, so these were fiercely patriotic musicians who were committed to improving this country. And, one of the ways that they felt that needed to be done was to end slavery.
Wonder how those things would go over today. I'm not going to get into the political end of it, but it's interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
It's very patriotic.
Yeah, if I can just jump in a second on that. What I really appreciate about them is that they were indeed very patriotic. They thought that, America was the best country in the world. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, they were really committed to human rights. So I feel like there's something there for kind of both sides of the spectrum that we experience today. There's that real passionate love of this country, but then there is also this idea that we can make it even better.
Yeah, man, always, right? Always.
Right.
Man, oh man. You are listening to NH Unscripted. We are coming to you from the Gong Show-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sony Walkmans, baby. 101.9 FM for those beautiful souls in Manchester. You are listening to the voice of Steve Blunt today, singing songs I've never heard of, but they are wonderful to hear. We will be right back. One more block to go. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. I know you're smiling cheek to cheek just like I am, baby. Yeah, get out those black light posters. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're coming to you 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios. Poor kids got the 8 transistors. We got 16. Yes, baby. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. We are coming to you from the honeymooner-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. Steve Blunt is regaling us here with some wonderful, wonderful music. Steve, you said something about you're going to a studio called Rocking Horse. Is that today?
That's right. Rocking Horse Studio, which is owned and operated by my buddy Brian Coombs up in Pittsfield, New Hampshire. And Brian is one of the people that I don't think I would have been able to get into music without. Basically, when I was just getting started, he had a little home studio in Manchester, so we recorded my first CD down there, and his standards are the highest possible standards, and somehow he let me come in and record anyway. But he made it all sound pretty good, and, and like even what you heard, and Andrew would probably back this up. It's like high production quality. It sounds good, and so that CD first CD came out end of 2002. Hang On Henry kind of just got out there when I would visit libraries, and then they'd have me come back. And a lot of families just really glommed onto that CD, and that's that was a time when the CD format was viable. It's not like that anymore. Yeah. I honestly, literally can't give away CDs. I will sometimes say, "Would you like a CD?" And they're like, "Oh, thanks, but no, we don't have any to play it."
It's funny you mentioned. I had heard the other day they're coming back. They made a comeback.
That's probably true too, but
because of you, probably. Right, You're the only guy out there selling CDs.
Right.
It's a one-man force for CDs, baby.
So I've been going back to Rocking Horse Studio all these years. My buddies and have helped me record there. It's really fun, and I'm going to be doing that today, just for almost I don't know if you call it a vanity project or just for fun. It's not going to be a children's song. It's going to be a song that I thought, this is kind of fun. It's very autobiographical. I'd kind of like to record this.
So you're going to his studio to record one song?
Yeah. Well, I'll probably do two songs, and today is just kind of the first step in the process. We'll just do a real basic track with me singing and playing my guitar, and then eventually
put the wrecking crew in there.
Yeah, you got it. That's right. Yep. Get the bass, get the drums,
get
the good guitar players, and all that. Yeah.
So, do you play anything besides the guitar, or on your songs? You do.
Yeah, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. Nothing special on guitar. Any guy at an open mic can outplay me. But what I find it lent itself very well to kids' music is, I can play a little ukulele, a little harmonica, a little djembe drum, a little bit of this and that. I've got a low brass horn I'll even pull out and pass out some shakers for the kids. So all that variety is very helpful to keep kids' interest over the course of like a 45 or 60-minute program.
Yeah. Now, do you perform with other people as well?
Yeah, that really made it fun. I love when I can get together with my buddy Marty Kelly. He's got a cool day job as an author-illustrator, so it's a nice combination for us to visit a library when we can sing some songs, and then he can read some of his books and throw the illustrations up on a projection screen for the kids and the families to see. So,
I'm assuming they're children's books then. I mean,
yeah,
Marty,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. We like to joke. He's he's just known in every school. He's a really popular presenter.
Oh.
His books are in all the libraries and stuff. So it's really fun for us to be able to play together. And honestly, he has made the last 15 years or so of my doing music just a lot more fun because we're buddies. I mean, we'll do a library show in Hanover, and then we'll grab some pizza, and then we'll go for a hike, and then we'll continue on our merry way.
Man. You have a song to play for us, right?
I do, yeah. I thought this would be fun for me. I hope it's okay.
We'll find out.
It's not a kid's song. It's just kind of about where I am right now. And
now, when are you going to? This is what you're going to be recording today?
That's right. Yeah.
Right, so we're listening. Yeah, fire away.
Someday we're gonna get all this stuff organized. I'm gonna lose 10 pounds and practice my guitar. You'll do yoga early in the morning. We'll learn to dance and I won't be late anymore. Sun comes up, you gotta pay the bills. Sun goes down, you gotta rest your head. And in between, you're always making up the bed. Well, the kids just up and moved out to the mountains. They say Salt Lake City is nice this time of year. Flights are leaving daily out of Boston. 'Cause you and me and the dog are getting restless here. Sun comes up, you gotta pay the bills. Sun goes down, you gotta rest your head. And in between, you're always making up the bed. Well, it's a darn good thing we don't hate each other. 'Cause there ain't nothing but time to kill the day. You and I are in this thing together. together. Do you hear the lonesome sound of that lonesome train? Well, I think I'll pull some weeds out of the garden. And you can plant some flowers in the lawn. After that, we'll walk the dog until the sun goes down. And then we'll get back home and put some music on. Sun comes up, you gotta pay the bills. Sun goes down, you gotta rest your head. And in between, you're always making up the bed. Sun comes up, you gotta pay the bills. Sun goes down, you gotta rest your head. And in between, you're always making up the bed.
It'll be sung at every wedding from now on.
So sweet and romantic.
My God, it's like looking into my house. Jeez. Oh, I noticed that some of your events are free. So does that mean that some folks pay to get into some of them? What's happening here?
Well, what I like to say when I'm at a library or any place where it's a free show is that I'm worth every penny. That would be the norm for what I do. Sure.
Free at the library.
Yeah, and I have had occasion over the years to play other kinds of venues. Tupelo Music Hall was really fun.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We did some Halloween shows down there years back that got sold out. I mean, daytime, they would promote it for the kids. So
they're busting them in.
That's about as big as I could say things ever got from me. But that was fun. That was fun.
Man, are there some things that are requested more often than others in your field? I don't know how popular you are among that circle, but when you show up, you had mentioned the kite one, but are there other things that people like, please play this? Or
yeah, believe it or not, that does happen. It might be, the macaroni and cheese song or the dinosaur song or the kangaroo song or, just I've got a song called Don't Wake Up the Baby that I think every family with a baby in the house relates to. So they do sometimes ask for that stuff. But the funny thing is, again, because families don't listen to that many CDs, so the songs are just not out there in the same way. So I might have one family ask for a particular song, but I know that for most of the kids, it would be better to just play Old MacDonald Had a Farm, because that's the one that everybody can get in on.
Yeah, what's an hour like, a 45-minute show like? Do you like to fly by the seat of your pants, kind of like, an impromptu kind of thing? Or are you asking questions like, who wants to hear what? Or what's that whole hour unfold like?
I have a pretty good idea of what kinds of songs are good for the beginning.
Okay.
How the kids can participate. I try to get them to participate in a lot of different ways, and then I'm always going to pass something out, whether it's shakers or colorful scarves or something like that.
Got you.
Again, that's towards the end. So you kind of, after doing this, you get a sense for how to put together a program that's going to work for kids. You want it to start kind of where they're at and give everybody something they can do that's fun and simple, and then kind of take it from there.
Yeah, I can't believe the show's over. Steve, can you give your URL again?
Yep. My website is steveblunt.com. It's a great place to find out more about my music and me. Thanks so much.
Oh, my friend, thank you for being here. You've been listening to NH Unscripted. We are coming to you from deep within the bunkers of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios, 101.9 FM for those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. This show comes to you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. with some re-airings on Wednesday and Friday evenings at 8. So happy to be around. Steve Blunt, thank you, my friend, for being here today. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Ray.
See you on the next one.